What they do, what it is, this is Orion aka Brass Balls, bringing you another installment of Deep Dive Tape Stash. Before we take a leap into the Pacific Ocean, let's get into some other specifics, and that is, you need to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel Orion Hip Hop, where you can find previous episodes of Deep Dive Tape Stash, as well as dope ass music cuts from yours truly, Orion. Now, for my hip hop audio files out there, here we go. We going to the West Coast. You know how I do. I bounce from east to west to south. It's all regions when it comes to hip hop for me. I ain't biased to no coast, to no area, no region. This brother right here goes by the name of Saafir. He is a legendary MC from Oakland. Came up part of a couple of crews that I'm about to mention, and that is Digital Underground. Came up on the Digital Underground first, then was affiliated strongly, was a big member of Hobo Junction, and then of course, a lot of people may know the Golden State Warriors Project, which was composed of Razkaz, Exhibit, and this brother Saafir. We gonna get into that a little bit later. First, I wanna say Hobo Junction versus Hieroglyphics is a legendary battle that went down on the airwaves over there in LA, and it's available on YouTube. You can check out that live battle and everything. If you are watching this on YouTube, which you should be, check out the description box. I'm gonna put a link to that legendary battle in case you're late to the party and you've never heard that. But this ain't about the battle. This is about this tape cassette that I got in front of you for a track called Crawl Before You Ball off of Saafir's second album, Hit List. Now, this joint is produced by Shakim. I didn't know who Shakim was until I did some research and found out that he is the legendary Shock G from Digital Underground. Digital Underground helped spawn the careers of many MCs, most notably Tupac, Loonies, Mac Ma, but Saafir is one of them. And Shock G is somebody that collaborated with him in producing tracks for him for a very long time. After I did some research, he even produced tracks for him way after this album and everything. So I don't know what their relationship was, but obviously they was cool, and this beat is dope. It's got some horn line that kind of reminds me of like some Herb Alpert type sample. It's got some Earth, Wind, and Fire sample that he freaked kind of differently than what you would imagine somebody doing. Aside from the dope production, Saafir did his thing on it. I like the subject matter on it. It's kind of talking about how you need to pay your dues in this business. You need to be a real MC about your skills. This is not no overnight celebrity bullcrap. You gotta crawl before you ball. There are things you must learn. There are things you must do before you make it in hip hop. And that's what he's on with this one right here. This Oakland MC has an unorthodox style. A lot of people, it may not be your cup of tea. For me, myself, when I first started hearing it, it took some adjusting. Once I kind of understood the style more, I could appreciate what he was dropping and how he was dropping it. The delivery was very out of the box, and it kind of reminds me of a West Coast version of Chuck D, if you will, to a certain extent. The side B on this tape cassette is the title track of his album, Hit List, produced by Sonny Black. I'm not too sure if Sonny Black was part of Hobo Junction. He may have just been an affiliate, or he may as very well have been in the group. The beat is kind of dope. It's sharp. It's got that like Ghetto Fabulous sound that you heard off of Razkaz's Ghetto Fabulous, or like what Dr. Dre was doing with the early onset of Aftermath, if you remember to that time in 1998, 1999. The subject matter on Hit List, I feel, is kind of ahead of its time. He alludes to two rappers, two legends passing away, and I'm thinking he's referencing Big and Pac. But then as the song goes on, he goes on to say how like you could be on the hit list unless you are hitless, meaning if you're an MC and you don't have a hit, you may not have anything to worry about. However, if you do manage to make it, have a hit, you need to watch your back, because rappers are in danger. He brings up De La Soul, he brings up The Far Side, Scarface, and I don't think he's bringing up these brothers as dissing them. I think he was fond of them and was just trying to further his point in the song. The reason I say it's ahead of its time, it's because we're in 2024, and although some MCs died in the 90s due to gun violence, in the last 10 years, a lot more MCs have died due to gun violence. A lot, especially these younger MCs that are out there, whether it's drill or trap music. And one can argue that it's once they made a hit, once they made it big, you know, that's when they were placed on the crosshairs to a lot of foes out there. And who knows, maybe some record companies were behind a couple of those deaths. You know, I'm a conspiracy theorist. You know how I get down. That's a whole other subject for us to tackle another day. Sonny Black did do a bit of a feature on this, like 8 bars or so. Pretty good feature for him to be on. Definitely added to the track. The album itself, Hit List, I copped it, I want to say 2003, and it got some joints, man. Dogmaster was dope. Slip Into My Eyes is another one. 6 Digits is possibly my favorite joint off of it. I like album cuts like that. It's featuring 2 MCs, Cutthroat. The other one, I think it might be IQ from Hobo Junction. And them brothers did their thing on it. I love the production on that one. Carlos 6 Broadway did that. 6 July Broadway did that. Not For Nothing featuring Chino XL is a standout track on that album. And Chino XL and Saafir actually make a good team. They have a song called How It Goes that's off of Chino XL's second album. Rest in peace to Chino XL. But How It Goes is possibly the best song on that Chino XL I Told You So album. If you've never heard it, you need to go check it out. I'm gonna put a link to that song in the description box on the YouTube, because it is that much of a banger. I really love it, and I wish them 2 brothers would have collabed more because of how different their styles are. They felt they complemented each other very well, which brings me on to this point. Golden State. The Golden State project is something I was looking forward to, and I know a lot of hip-hop fans were also looking forward to, but for whatever reason, it never popped off. When I first heard Plastic Surgery and 3 Card Molly, man, them brothers had me hyped, because once again, the voices of Exhibit, Razkaz, and Saafir are so dynamic, so different. I felt they complemented each other very well, and it's unfortunate that it never came out. I remember in some interview with DJ Drama, I want to say it was Exhibit that talked about that project and how it was slated to come out on Aftermath, but unfortunately labels were involved because these 3 artists were individually signed, and a lot of business got in the way, unfortunately. We never got blessed with the Golden State project. Now, a lot of people may not know, but Pac and Saafir were homies at one point. They ended up having a little bit of a beef in 93, 94, who was due to the Menace to Society movie. Saafir got hooked up in that movie through Pac, and a lot of people know that Pac had a falling out with the Hughes brothers, even fought one of them because he didn't like his character's role. He wanted it rewritten, felt tried up, and put hands on the Hughes brothers and everything. Saafir didn't want to let go of that role. Pac took it some kind of way, and they were never cool since then. I don't know if they ever made amends. One interesting point I would like to make about this, though, that may have all just been a bad coincidence, is the fact that Saafir would later on go collaborate with Chino XL a few times, like I just mentioned. And obviously, Pac had that beef with Chino XL for that song that he did off of his first album that's called Riot, which is featuring Razkaz. Although Pac never went at Razkaz, one of the Outlaws did go at Exhibit for the Paparazzi song. It's just funny that Kevin Bacon, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I think in hip hop you could do a 6 degrees of Tupac. I'm just saying. Anyway, as y'all know, Pac came up on the Digital Underground, and I'm thinking that's how the brothers first started to know each other and everything. There is a song called Past the 40 that is a posse cut track with Pac and Saafir. This was like 91, I want to say, and it's got some other people that were cool with Digital Underground, as well as Money B, that are on that track. Y'all can peep that. I'm gonna put a link to that one as well on the description box, so y'all can go check it out. Last thing I want to add on this is that Saafir was unfortunately in some kind of plane accident, which gave him some spinal injury, led him to eventually be in a wheelchair. And I tried researching online to see what his current status was and whether or not he was still in the wheelchair, but I didn't find anything. But what I did find that I thought was really fucking dope is that his son goes by Lil Saafir. He's rapping, he's doing his thing. His voice is so much like his father's, but his delivery is very much different. he delivers his rhymes in a much more in pocket and not the unorthodox styles that Saafir put into practice. So I think y'all should go check out Lil Saafir, peep the music that he's got, because I thought it was really dope. And I think it's dope that he carries on his father's legacy with his name. That's fire. So with that said, that's about it for me. I'm done. Said a lot for y'all. Thank you for joining in. Peace.